After 9 months, 23 races, many crashes, controversies and comeback arcs for the ages, we are down to the last one. But here's the twist no one predicted at the start of the season, a three-way tie heading into Abu Dhabi. A fight that is three-way. Three gladiators, Oscar Piastri, Lando Norris and Max Verstappen entering the arena at Yas Marina. You better have a say in this one because absolutely everyone has joined in on the madness. Fans, pundits, betting markets, astrologers, tarot card readers, yes, even the fortune tellers are in this. But amid all the noise, one question sits right at the center. Going by what we are hearing in the pre-race conversations, will McLaren sabotage themselves again? The 2025 season has looked nothing like the dominant one-horse races we've seen in the past. Usually, by now, we know the champion. Or at worst, it's a two-driver shootout. Simple maths, simple predictions, simple bets. But this time, 3 drivers, 1 race, 1 title. And with millions riding on predictions, guess who stepped in? Yes, tarot card experts. They've mapped out the emotional state of all these 3 drivers. Piastri, he's feeling the heat. Norris, calm, steady and focused. Verstappen, coming in with brute force with that winner energy slapped on. Which honestly sounds exactly like Verstappen, because take a look at this delightful little graph that we have here for you. The first 10 races, it looked like Piastri was headed for a dominant title win. His McLaren was cruising, Norris was there, but Piastri was on a different level. Verstappen was nowhere, miles behind, literally and statistically. But then the season flipped. The Austrian Grand Prix changed everything. The 5 races that followed, Lando Norris unlocked something else entirely. 3 wins, 4 podiums, confidence right through the roof, a champion swagger coming up. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, Verstappen was quietly tuning the RB into a weapon. And once the final 8 races arrived, boom, the Verstappen of old returned, clinical, ruthless, relentless. The Italian Grand Prix literally marked the unthinkable. And suddenly, Verstappen has cut down a 104-point gap to being just few behind Norris. So yes, Piastri dropped form. Yes, Norris soared, but that's only half the story. The bigger problem for them is the internal communication and the blunders this season that actually cost them. This team, despite having the fastest car on multiple weekends, lacked one thing champions always have: a clear diktat, clear hierarchy, clear team orders. And heading into Abu Dhabi, their confusion was exposed again. That conversation shouldn't have played out the way it did. I don't know if he will. This conversation hasn't taken place. All of that tells us everything. McLaren don't have a strategy. McLaren don't have clarity in moments of pressure. Okay, let's be honest here. A driver shouldn't be guessing whether his teammate will help him in a title fight, especially if neither result will benefit his own standing. In this scenario, Piastri finishing 3rd and Norris finishing 4th. Will that help Piastri win the title? No. Will that help Norris win the title? No. So the answer is simple. Not I am not sure and I don't know, because that single uncertainty can cost a world championship. And no, we're not saying McLaren should just back Norris in this all the way. The logic is they would want to intervene, but probably when the constructors' title is at stake, when that's at line. Because the goal should be to win the team title and then produce world beaters, not just pick a favorite every time. And McLaren, more than any team, should know this. History has shown us what happens when a team ignores communication and relies on the figure it out on the racetrack move. McLaren has lived that nightmare before. Late 80s, early 90s, Prost versus Senna, two superstars, two world beaters, one garage. But the team failed to draw the line, failed to manage egos or set rules. And the cracks turned into fractures. The partnership collapsed. McLaren lost one of their greatest drivers ever in Prost. Fast forward to today, Norris and Piastri are not Senna and Prost, not even close. But that's exactly what makes this dangerous. Cracks always start small. Imagine this. The final laps in Abu Dhabi. Norris needs one position to become world champion. Piastri is ahead of him. If he refuses to let Norris pass, what happens to that relationship and McLaren the next day? This is where seasons are decided. Not in races where nothing is at stake, but in the moments where everything is on the line. So what's needed is communication, clarity, courage to make the hard calls. They're heading into the finale, two drivers versus one, their united front against one Max Verstappen. Because if they lose, the last reason they would want it to be is because they never fixed the one flaw that has haunted them for decades. A communication breakdown at the worst possible moment. So to sum it all up, I'm not saying Piastri needs to show he's the bigger person, the team player, relinquish a podium finish for a driver's title, because that's his race to cherish too, though putting these two in one sentence does skew it up for him. All I'm saying is McLaren needs to have this conversation with the two drivers at some point, the sooner the better before the race, because at stake here isn't just this year's Drivers' Championship. It's the present and the future of a team and its drivers.
I rose from the army with medals on my chest. I spoke of freedom from colonial chains, but I tightened my own. I filled prisons with ghosts. Nearly 500,000 people were butchered under my rule, and I trusted only my paranoia. I gave myself grand titles. I claimed to be Africa's strongman. History calls me something else, the dictator. Who am I?